On the previous video we left off with a full installation of Gary's mod dedicated to the server being finished. Now I'm gonna actually show you guys how to install the bunny up Gamemode on here. Since you're watching this on the YouTube channel probably, click this link to visit the channel homepage. Then if you want to get to the release thread on Facepunch, you can click this link here that says Gamemode releases. But for convenience I'll also add the link to the video description. Now if you haven't read this yet, I suggest you do, because it fully explains what's inside of the package and what else there is next to the bunny up Gamemode. Now scroll down for the download section, which is right here. It might have been updated in the meantime, but for now I'm just going to pick the latest version from Mega. If you don't trust the release, there's always a virus total. There might be some false positives, but that's, I don't know, it's an issue with Chrome. I hope they resolve it soon. It's not doing it for me anymore, so that's good. Well, once it's gonna come up here, you can click download to your computer. Special thing about Mega is that it downloads to local storage and then copies it over to your downloads folder. Well, once it's done, you can click show in folder and you should see the release zip right here. Now open that up, scale it so that you can still see the rest of your screen. Go to Game Modes, Flow Network, called Game Modes, Flow Network Bunny Up. The first thing you have to do is drag the start server batch file into this directory. It contains the command line to launch the game. You can change the default map here, the amount of players, even the tick rate, but I suggest you keep it at 100 for the best B-Hop experience. Then you can close this. First, navigate to your CFG folder, where we're going to get the config file that's required for proper bunny hopping. It's in other/config, and then just drag this one in here, overwrite it. If you want, you can open it up, see what it looks like. Here you can set the name of your server. I'm going to call it this so we can actually see it in the list. Then here you can set the Google, well, you can set the loading URL. I set it to Google by default so that you guys will know where to look. And here, if you uncomment this, you can set the fastDL. But if you don't know exactly how that works, I suggest you leave it like this. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube about how to actually set up a fastDL. So if you do want to do that, I suggest you check them out. Maybe I'll even do one, but not yet. Go back to the Gamemode directory. Go to Gamemode. And then here, go to Game Modes, create a new folder called B-Hop. Do not name it anything else, because it has to have the same name as in your launch batch file, as well as this text file right here. So drag all the contents in this directory, and that should be it for now. Now go back to the Gary's mod directory, and now we need to do the database. Now this is the MySQL installation, so go to your database directory. If you are mistakenly here and you want to view the MySQLite edition, it'll be in the description. What you have to do, the first steps for the local database are similar to the SQLite installation. You have to get the SVDB. Now you can already get the preset one, which already has the zones, or you can get a clean one from just launching the server and then editing that one. Since I'm using this one for the SQLite edition, I'm gonna show you how to do that with a completely clean SVDB. So all you have to do is launch it. And then once it's done loading, you can just close it again, because all it has to do is actually create this file right here. You'll have to edit it. I'm using Navicat Premium for that, because I'm just used to it. I'm just using a trial version, which is almost going to expire. You can get that anywhere you want. Now, create a new connection to the SQLite database. Since this is an existing one, you can just put the URL here, or like the link to it, and name it something like Gary's mod DS. Double click it, you'll get this main. This is where everything goes. You'll see there is only going to be one table player P data. Now we'll need structure and essential data. For MySQL, this adds a few other tables, but we don't need those extra tables. So I'm just going to need a temporary directory here. I'm going to call it queries. I'll extract, let's see, I'll extract these both. Now here we need to right click, execute SQL file. This might differ for whatever SQLite editor you're using. Click this, navigate to your folder where you extracted them, click the SQLite SVDB. Now since we're going to use MySQL, don't use this one, but click this one, unless you want to have all the times from Flow Network, then you can use this. Or if you really want nothing at all, you can only use the structure only. But this also comes with the maps and the zones, which you might want. Now click start. Should be done really quickly, and you'll get these 4 tables. You can see they've got everything in there you need, as well as the map data, but the times will still be empty. Alright, that's that. You can close it. Now on to the MySQL part. For this, you'll need a working MySQL server. Now this might be a local server, this might be a remote server, it doesn't really matter much. You just need to be able to access it from within your game, as well as within your SQL editor. I'm using XAMPP. It's a pretty well-known tool. You can get it pretty simple. You just go to XAMPP, Google that, and click downloads. It should be apachefriends.org. Yeah, just again, for your operating system, pick the right version. I'm always going for the latest one because it's got the latest PHP, which usually has the most security fixes. Click download. It will install a Bitnami installer, if I'm correct. Just follow the steps it says in there. Now I've already got it installed, and if I'm going to reinstall it, it's going to mess with my services, so I'm not going to do that. In the end, you should come up with this directory here, and just launch XAMPP control. It should look something like this. You don't necessarily have to install these 2, Apache and MySQL, as services. Well, actually, for this, you can completely ignore Apache, but if you want to have a website running on your server, you can use Apache to actually set up a website. It's really simple. But for now, I'm just going to launch my SQL server. It will launch here. By default, local MySQL. Hold on, I'll create a new connection to show you guys. By default, it will run on localhost, since localhost just points to your own computer. The port will be 3306, like you'd see here. The default username and password will be root with a blank password. So test connection, see if you can connect. Now if you've got a remote server, you can just type your IP, whatever it may be, here. But since I'm on a local server, it's just going to be this. Click OK, and now you should be able to get this. I'm going to delete this database because I forgot I still had it. Create a new database called Flow GMOD. You can call it whatever, but you'll have to change files if you name it anything else. Open the database so you can actually execute the query. Now go to this folder that we made, and let's have a look. With admin data already comes with a preset admin, which might be useful in this case. So open up that one, run it. We've got some errors. Not exactly sure why. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I figured out what the problem was. Open up this file. It's only with admin data. For database, it's just clean. But that problem was actually with me. I overlooked something while adding these notifications. There's a duplicate key here, and it's for the primary key, which is not allowed. So just make sure you change it to something else that's not in the list yet. So 10. And that should actually be it. So now close it, and we should be able to execute it right now. There we go. Yes, that's what we want. Now we'll also get the extra tables. That's good. GMOD admins, by default, this will have some non-existing Steam IDs. But you can see this is the owner. This is the access level for owner, developer, super admin, and moderator. You can change those here. I'm just going to put in my own Steam ID. And for notifications, this is just a list of random notifications that you can change if you want. There are a bunch of stupid facts that I added because I thought it was funny. A lot of people don't think it's funny, so you can remove them if you want. Now, if you want to have a VIP, I put myself as a VIP here. I don't actually know, I just forgot to remove it. And the owner Steam, you can put your own Steam ID here, so you'll be a VIP yourself as well. Now I think that's all you need to do for the MySQL connection, so close that. You can close these as well. Make sure you don't stop this because it has to be running in order for the game to connect to it. Now, go back. We still have to do the essential files. So go to Lua Autorun, and here as well, Lua Autorun, and drag this one in here. Forgive me for my sniffles. I've got a little bit of a cold, so you might hear me doing that a few times. Well, now for the actual installation, I think we've covered everything in here, so you can close this. You'll have to go to core and also open up core data because they're both important. Now, since we're doing the MySQL installation, you have to set this to true, and as you can see in the code, it will see that it's set to true and then require the MySQL OO library. Like it says here, you need to make sure that it's installed. Right now I'm on a clean install, so I don't have it either, and I'm going to show you how exactly to get to it. It's on Facepunch. There's a new thread for it. I have to cutting it here. Okay, sorry about that. I forgot the URL to this thread. It'll be in the video description. This is the very latest version of MySQL OO. It's got fixes that the previous version didn't have, and it's just a lot more stable. To actually get the file, you have to download 2 files. First, get the Windows DLL, keep it, and as well as the libmysql. This is also required to be able to run it. Now, the libmysql has to go inside of your Gary'sModDS folder along with srcds. So there. And then the GMSV, this is a module, so it has to go into your, well, it's a non-existent folder. You have to create it. Go to Lua and then create a new folder called bin. Open it and drag this in here. Now, that should be it for the modules. So go back to the code. This will not give errors anymore. I think this is all automatic except for the details. If they're different from this, this is the same as localhost, so it will also point to my computer. And the details is root with a blank password. Database is called flow GMOD. If you've got a different database, make sure you change it here, as well as your details. Yeah. So that's it. You can close this. Now go to core.lua. This is more of the display that you get in game, what you see. The display name, this is what you see on the top of the scoreboard, so I'm just going to call it testing my bunny hop game mode. The version, I suggest you leave it at this because it's the known version, and unless you're going to give it updates, just increment it. And if you're going to do big updates, increment it to 8, for example. Page size, don't touch this unless you know what it does, unless you know how to edit. Ooh my god, I put an extra space there, that pisses me off. Yeah, unless you know how to change this, because you'll have to make a lot of edits in CLGUI. The game type, leave this at bhop because that corresponds to the folder path that you have set in here. If you change it, then it won't be able to load these contents. As well as the material ID flow, it corresponds to this directory. So if you're going to rename this directory as well as on your fastDL, you have to change this here. Now the identifier is what it uses for client-side caching. Make sure this is a non-common used name. So you can set it to something random like banana, or just how your servers identify. If you're going to call it flow network, then use this. And the server name is what you get when the notifications come up. You can see it's set here. Just you can name it anything. If your server is called flow network, just give it that name, and this should be it. You can also set your Steam group here. It's not required, but if you set it, then people will get a pop-up to ask you if they want to join your Steam group. Now it's just a really simple script. It will only ask it once, and shouldn't annoy your people much. That's it for the core.lua. Close it. Now, since this is done, we can go on to the game. So launch a server, and once it's done, I'll open up my game. When the game is loaded up, click Find Multiplayer Game, then click Local Network. Your bunny hop server should pop up right here, and we should get the name that we set in the server config. Now I didn't set any password, so you can simply click Join Server and it will connect. Of course, you get the beautiful loading screen by Google, unless you changed it. And we have appeared in GM Flatgrass. Now, this you can see that we have the title. You can see it's working. You get the heads-up display. You get the connection messages. But there's no zone, and the map isn't added yet because it's a default map, and nobody really wants to bunny hop on this since it's pretty fucking plain. Well, I'll have another tutorial where I will explain how to add maps, how to use the admin panel, because with the operator ID that we just set, we'll now have extensive access to this. It's a pretty complicated admin panel if you've never used it. So I'll have an extra tutorial about that fully explains all the functionality in there and how to actually use the game mode. But that's really it. That's all you need to play this, and I hope you managed to do it. Thank you for watching.